guys, it is Teenage DC Fan back with another video, and Batwoman just debuted the very first episode of the first season. It was out last night. So now I'm doing a review on the pilot for Batwoman, and honestly, this looks like it's going to be a really good show. It's very different from all of the Arrowverse shows. But honestly, I kind of like that, because, some of the shows I'm kind of tired of, because it's the same thing over and over again. But Batwoman, this show is, completely different than anything else that I've seen, as a part of the Arrowverse. So, without further ado, let's just get right into the episode. And the episode begins, showing Kate, and she is doing some training, but then she gets a message from her sister, because in Gotham City, they were holding a ceremony to shut off the bat signal once and for all, because Batman had been gone for 3 years, and they figured that he wasn't coming back, so what's the point of wasting, electricity on the bat signal? So they were about to shut it off. But then Alice shows up, and Alice is like this supervillain. So she's super evil and psycho. She's basically, she's kind of similar to Harley Quinn. That's what she kind of reminds me of. But then she kills the guards, and then she lets Gotham City know that she's out there and she's killing people. And then she kidnaps one of the crows, and the crows are basically what the police force is called in Gotham City. I don't get why they're just called the GCPD like it normally is, and everything else, but whatever. So one of the crows, her name is Sophie, and then it shows some flashbacks, and it explains why Kate would want to know and would want to be there after Sophie gets kidnapped, because Sophie and Kate were dating. Were, as in past tense, so not anymore. And then as the episode goes on, it shows a lot more with flashbacks. I'm actually going to go over another flashback right now. So it shows why Kate didn't become a crow, but Sophie did. So they were in the, training military school or whatever together, and, they were training together, but then they were caught making out, and apparently that's, against the rules, because, I don't know what time period this is set in, what time period that took place in, because, like I said, it was a flashback, so back then, that stuff wasn't okay, so it was, against the rules. And so they had the option to either sign a thing saying that they would never do anything like that again, or they would just drop out of the academy. And Kate just assumed that they would drop out of the academy, go find somewhere else to train, and still become crows together. And, they would live happily ever after together in love and all that stuff. But then turns out Sophie signed the paper, so she's denying her true self, and she has to leave Kate behind. So that's also why Kate left to go do training, because she couldn't be at the military school where Sophie was, because she basically got kicked out. So I think that's really interesting dynamic to have with these characters. And then it gets even more interesting when we see Sophie later on in the episode. Anyways, Kate ends up going to Gotham City. She meets up with her sister Beth, and her father. She has a strange relationship with her father. At first you think that he just doesn't love her. But then after a while, you realize that he's doing what he's doing just so he can protect her, because he's an overprotective parent. And I think most parents are like that. But I really like their dynamic, because like I said, she feels that he doesn't love her, but in his mind, what he's doing is protecting her, even though that's not always the case. So anyway, they check in with each other because they haven't seen each other in like years or whatever. I don't know how long. But then she goes to Wayne Industries, I think that's what it's called. Wayne Enterprises, something like that. She breaks in, and then she runs into Luke Fox. And if you don't know who Luke Fox is, you may know Lucius Fox. He is the guy that designs like all of Batman's suits and weapons and stuff like that. So then Luke Fox is Lucius Fox's son, and he basically does the same thing. So then Luke like starts to handcuff her and like call in security and stuff, but then she's a badass, so she kicks his ass, and then puts him in the handcuffs, and then she downloads files, which is the footage of Sophie getting kidnapped. By the way, she got kidnapped by Alice and the Wonderland gang, in case that wasn't clear. But then, so then she gets out of there, and then she goes back to the Crow's office or whatever. I like to just call it the GCPD, because that's what it basically is. And then she shows them the footage. They like do a super like high definition quality search of the video or whatever, and then they find out where the Wonderland gang is hiding out. So then Kate goes there alone because she's like, I don't need backup. I can take out anybody in my way. And that's not the case, because she shows up and she automatically gets knocked out by one of the Wonderland gang members. I think it's the one with the rabbit mask, maybe. So yeah, that was cool. But then she wakes up, and then Alice is standing in front of her, and then Alice explains her plan, how she isn't doing this because she hates Gotham City. She isn't doing this because she hates Batman or anything like that. She's doing this because she hates Kate's father and the Crows and all that stuff, and she wants to take away her power. So then Kate starts thinking that, oh, Alice wants me to deliver this message to my father to take away his power and stuff like that. But then she finds out that Sophie is the one that will be delivering the message because, according to Alice, Kate's father doesn't love her, and Sophie is the daughter that he always wished he had, even though that's not the case. So then Kate, she gets knocked out again because, like, Alice just whacks her with some paddle thing, and then she wakes up in a hospital, and it's her sister Beth's, like, secret, semi-illegal hospital. But, you know, that's cool. She's just helping out the people in Gotham City. So she's doing that, and then she gets out of there, and then she goes back to Wayne Enterprises, something like that. And, then she meets up with Luke Fox again, and then she notices something is different, and it's a display case that has a pearl necklace in it, and that pearl necklace is Martha Wayne's pearl necklace, which is iconic to the Batman origin story because when his parents were shot, one of the biggest parts of that were his mother's pearls falling off and hitting the ground. So apparently he had that pearl necklace, but she noticed that it was in a different spot. So then she went over and moved it back to where it was before, and then all of a sudden the bookcase opened up, and she has found the Batcave. So then she goes down into the Batcave, and then she finds out for the first time that Bruce Wayne, her cousin, is Batman, or was Batman, because, you know, Bruce Wayne's gone, and has been gone for 3 years. So then Luke explains everything, so Kate actually hated Batman because when she was a small child, she had a different sister. Because the sister that I've been talking about, Beth, she's her stepsister because her father married someone new. But apparently she was in the car with her mother and her original sister, and then there was a car crash. Her mother, Kate got out of the car. Batman showed up and got Kate out of the car, and then, but then her sister and mother, the car fell over the ledge, and they died. So then she always blamed Batman for that because he just walked away, and she thought that he cared more about catching the villain than he cared about actually saving lives. When that wasn't the case, because then Luke revealed to Kate that this whole time Bruce had been investigating that crash, trying to figure out what went wrong, whose fault it was, and stuff like that. And then among some of the little articles that were on the wall, there was something about the Joker, so that was a nice little Easter egg, and it basically confirms that the Joker is in the Arrowverse, so that's pretty awesome. And so then she sees the Batman suit, and then she's like, Luke, you need to fix this. And he's like, what are you talking about? This suit is like perfect. And then she says, it is perfect, but you need to make it for me, or something like that. So basically she tells him to redesign it to fit her. So she's going to be Batman, but she's not going to be Batman. She's going to be Batwoman. That's right, because that's the name of the show. And then later there is a public movie being shown in the park. But then we find out that there's a building right across the street. Alice is up at the top, and she has Sophie held captive. And then Alice calls Kate's father. I don't remember his name. But she calls him and then lets him know that one of the vehicles down there, one of the police squad cars, is full of dynamite and explosives. So one wrong move and kaboom, everybody's dead. Families, children. That's a lot of blood. So yeah, that would be sad and really demented of her to do that. But she doesn't end up doing it because Kate shows up, but of course she's wearing her bat suit. But as you can see in the picture here, she has the red hair and the red bat symbol and all the red hair. She doesn't have that in this episode because she's not officially Batwoman yet. She's basically wearing the same bat suit that Bruce wore, except just a little modified to fit her body. And then later on, she'll be, the outfit will be updated. And then that is when Sophie gets pushed out off the building. Kate jumps off and saves her. And then Sophie finds out that it's not Batman, it's a woman. But she doesn't know that it's Kate. I don't think she even knows that Kate is in town yet. So then Alice gets away, but then Kate, once she makes sure that Sophie is safe, she jumps off the building in a very Batman way and glides away. And then, of course, there's a little kid down watching the movie. She looks up and says, "Look, Mommy, it's Batman!" So then the next thing we see is that there's a news article about how Batman is back, even though he's not, because this is Batwoman. But yeah, so everybody's happy that Batman's back, because then Gotham can be a safer place again. And then these are two big, really, twists that are revealed here. So Sophie, she spots Kate, and they're in the Crow office, GCPD thing, place, headquarters, whatever. And she goes to talk to her, and then this guy walks up to her, and then we basically find out that this guy named Tyler is Sophie's husband. So, Kate, thinking that she came back into town, and, they weren't in college anymore, and people accepted, relationships like that now. She was thinking, like they could get back together, but but then not only does it turn out that that Sophie's in a relationship, but she's married, and she's married to a man. So yeah, don't see things working out between them anytime soon. I mean, I assume that by the end of the series they'll end up together, because that's how these things work. I mean, there's always like the main love like relationship, and even though it has some bumps along the way, it always ends up working out by the end of the series. So yeah, they'll end up together at some point, and then poor Tyler, Sophie's husband, he's gonna get his heart broken. But I mean, honestly, that doesn't matter. He's just a character that said like 2 lines. I mean, it's not like a character we're gonna see very much. But then the even bigger twist is revealed. So Alice, the big villain, is revealed to be Kate's sister, the one that supposedly died in that car crash with Kate's mother. So that's pretty insane. So Kate and Alice are sisters. So if Alice survived that crash, does that mean that Kate's mother survived that crash as well? I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I doubt it. Although, how did she? Because, I mean, that was like a pretty big fall. And maybe that's why she's, mentally insane. Because of that fall, like post-traumatic stress or something like that. Maybe that's it. But yeah, so this really changes things a lot, but in a good way. So this was everything that happened in the pilot of Batwoman, and so far this is an epic TV show. I'm loving it. Like I said, it's so much different than all the other Arrowverse shows, but I mean that in a good way. Like, different is good. And I'm looking forward to seeing more different in the next episode of Batwoman. But that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And hope to see you in my next video, so I can bestow all my DC knowledge upon you.